You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Hello.
Welcome to this very special episode of the Code Rad Show. Hello, Jim.
Hello, Jason. How are you?
I'm great. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
This week we have a pair of shows which, although quite different, had some similarities, I thought, and also had some similarities to some other kinds of shows. But I don't know. First, did you want to introduce our beverages?
Yes, indeed. So, we were trying to think of a name that kind of evoked fusing Japan and England. So the first idea I had was bangers and ramen, and so our friend Ed Lord, thank you, Ed, thought of one. So one he called sake and stout. So, yes, folks, right here I have a bottle of sake. Yes, indeed.
Oh, lovely. Yes, I'm familiar with that brand. And yes, I did indeed bring a can of stout. It is not
Nice.
authentically from the British Isles, but it is stout. We have here, right from here in Pennsylvania,
Very
dying
nice.
to try it, dark chocolate cherry stout from
Okay.
Victory Brewing in
I'm gonna.
Downingtown or Doylestown, someplace like that. Used to be in Downingtown, might have moved.
So now, normally, you're not Japanese custom. You're not supposed to pour your own, but there's nobody here but me, so I'm gonna have to just
Right.
make an exception. So let's just pour some in there like that. There we go. Ah, kanpai. Kanpai.
All right.
Huh.
8% ABV.
That's good stuff. You know what?
Yeah, one pint. Yeah, is that all right? So longtime viewers will know that I have been watching the show Sky. I realized I should have watched the whole series in one shot. It's a 7-episode series. It tells a whole story in 7 episodes, and it occurred to me that I chose this show because it was written by Bob Baker and Dave Martin, who wrote some of the best episodes of Doctor Who.
Yes.
While researching a story that they wrote, maybe Claws of Axos, something like that, I learned about this show, Sky. And now that I've watched all 7 episodes, I think it does kind of feel like a 7-episode storyline on Doctor Who.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
And
Yeah.
That Doctor Who has some really great 6-episode storylines. They did, taper off doing those, especially I think maybe they didn't even taper off. Maybe John Nathan Turner just ended that practice because he thought they were too long. And 6 episodes can be a bit long considering, some episodes of Doctor Who kind of strain to fill 4 episodes. And so
Yes.
Sky, while being a very intriguing concept, a lot of good stuff about it, the first few episodes are pretty slow going.
Yes.
Not a lot to talk about. I mean, if you boil it down to the essence, you think, oh, that's a pretty interesting show. But there's only maybe like 1 or 2 things of interest that happen in each 25-minute episode. The episodes are also, very similar to Doctor Who, pretty much the same exact length.
Yes.
One big difference, I think, is that Sky was produced by ITV. I figure the BBC probably has a machine that sort of, produces show of like a certain quality, of a certain nature. So whereas Doctor Who is not always the fastest moving, most exciting show ever, I feel like the BBC or the people who have been working on Doctor Who for decades, they keep it at a certain level, whereas ITV was a little bit slower. If you get what I'm getting at, it didn't feel like an episode of Doctor Who in terms of visuals, the acting and stuff. It felt different from an episode of Doctor Who, except for the plot. I felt like if you subtracted an episode or two, you would have a pretty good 6-episode Doctor Who storyline.
Yeah, it seemed very experimental to me. I think maybe they were hoping they would get a second season, and maybe they kind of would flesh out more of who Sky is and where he came from. No, it's not a bad series at all. I think the one thing is like Sky is it's kind of he's well, I guess come on, he's hard to like sometimes. I think because he's very mysterious, he can be very dismissive. You know,
Yes, he's aloof.
he's very aloof. Yes, so I think it's hard for the viewer to kind of get any emotional investment in a character like that.
Right.
But he is interesting. He's interesting.
Yeah, that is a good point, because one of the things I wanted to bring up, a thought I had while watching the final 3 episodes of Sky, was that this was kind of similar to Stranger Things. Something that maybe just occurred to me because Stranger Things is kind of in the ether at the moment, because like they've been promoting it a bit. You go to the supermarket, you see they have Stranger Things Doritos now, and
Yes,
I'm not sure exactly when the new series is going to start. I'm not sure if I'm going to watch it, because we won't get into that. I don't know if I want to, even though I did watch the last season. But yeah, the idea of a super powered strange kid who meets a group of kids, and they kind of have adventures together. I mean, Stranger Things, of course, really, amped it up, cranked it up to 11. The whole concept, the psychic powers are way more powerful. The adventures are way more exciting and crazy. But you kind of have a similar template there of the mysterious, gifted alien, a strange person comes and teams up with a group of kids who go off and fight evil. And I mean, much more black and white in Stranger Things, much more exciting. You could see much more mainstream entertainment, but there are some similarities. And while we're at it, your program, 8chan, also has that similar thing, a super powered entity who starts hanging out with a bunch of kids.
Yeah, and he may not always be the most competent of heroes, but his electric heart's in the right place. Let's see. Should I bring up the slides?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's see. I always forget. I probably have to do that.
Okay. So basically, I went to my share of conventions during the 90s, and I do remember seeing that toys for this character. Not many, but but enough to kind of for it to be kind of branded into my brain. And I would say, what is that? And the guy was like, I don't know. I just sell them. I don't know what they are. I just sell them. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I would learn
just probably some importer kind of guy would get whatever came off the boat.
They send me stuff. I sell it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that is 8chan with his accessory Hellafly, which lets him fly. So I gotta apologize to people watching this. I'm still getting used to I'm blurring as I go, so these might be a little bit small and compact. I apologize for that, but just bear with me. So the kid in the yellow striped shirt, that is Takeru Haruno, and basically they're school kids, and they belong to something called the Boys Patrol Club, and they basically pretend they're detectives, and Takeru's got these binoculars, looking for crimes or looking for things that are very unusual. And it turns out that his parents are actually inventors, or they fix broken robots. So we see that the father is creating a robot that will eat cockroaches.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty, and I think it sucks them up and it just eats them.
Yeah. Can't get. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. He kind of invented the Roomba.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty. He kind of did.
And yeah, gosh, there's a great opportunity to come out with an attack Roomba. After it sucks up all the dirt and bugs in your house, maybe you can shoot it at bad guys. They break in.
I'd buy one.
Yeah, the technology has got to be there with AI and
It's got to have that same color and those. It's got to have the antennas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So this guy basically says, "Hey, honey, could you hand me a box?" She's like, "Sure." And apparently, the box is full of roaches, and she gets very upset and scared because
very
no one really
gross.
likes cockroaches. So so it turns out that they start. She starts chasing him around, like throwing boxes at him. And I thought it's funny. He's got his binoculars, like, "Ha ha, mom and dad are fighting. That's funny. Mom and dad are fighting again. That's so funny." It's like okay. So Takeru, through his binoculars, sees this very unusual sight. There's a strange man in black chasing this kind of egg-shaped robot.
Very odd character, yes.
Yes, very odd. Yes. And they're running in a dock. It turns out this. Takeru also spots a random guy playing a tuba, as you do, I guess, when you're in downtown Tokyo. Yeah, of course, be a guy with a tuba, sure. This guy right here, this weird guy, is known as the disassembly man, or bada man.
Yes.
Bada apparently means like disjointed or falling apart.
Okay.
And his mission, his job, is to disassemble, I guess, rogue robots. So he has poor robot Hachan trapped against this telephone pole, but he's ready. He's got his wrench there. He looks so happy.
Yeah.
This guy was great, by the way. He's so over the top.
Oh yeah. He's a great villain.
He was great. Every time, even to pull a wrench on, he does like this really huge flip. Let's see. So, but the kids intervene, say, "Hey, you can't do this. This robot's our friend. You can't hurt him." Luckily, this guy shows up. This is Professor Aoi, which I believe means blue, and his I guess mistress robot Rhodey.
Right. Yeah.
So
not sure what to make of her.
Yeah, I guess he created her for certain things, I guess. Certain activities, certain pleasures, which we won't go into right now. But so Professor Aoi is able to convince the disassembly man's like, "Hey, just leave the robot alone. You know, I work with Haruno Labs. That's Takura's father. I work with them, so basically leave the robot alone." So the guy relents and he lets them go. Now, this guy, Professor, he's not always that really nice to his robotic companion. He complains that basically she makes him tea, and he complains that there's no sugar in this tea, so he conks her with something.
Oh, right, yeah.
Well, Hachan doesn't really like that. It turns out the thing on top of his head is an anger circuit or anger alarm. So if any children or kids are being bullied, this will start acting up, and he'll intervene. So he fires one of his arms at Professor Aoi. You can see his face. He's like, "Ah!" He gets hit in the face. Now these three gentlemen here apparently work for the disassembly man or bada man. And they basically capture Rhodey. So Hotshot has feelings for Rhodey. So he goes on a quest to find where she's being kept. So there's Hellafly there. So Hellafly enables Hachi-chan to fly. Um, Now, one thing that's really crazy is that so every hero has their weakness. We've got Superman has got kryptonite, and Green Lantern used to
Oh
have
yes,
yellow.
yes. Mm-hmm.
So his weakness apparently is green peppers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he definitely doesn't like green peppers.
no, he gets thrown. So he's able to he plays music, and apparently he releases a gas apparently that makes people act freely. So the
Right.
bad guy started dancing. They started
That was
dancing.
that was pretty hilarious. Yeah.
Was yes. And I'm going to put a link in the comments so people can see the whole episode for themselves.
Yeah,
Like I said,
highly recommended. I think everyone should check this out.
they really should. I mean, maybe have you ever just seen something just so bizarre and so off the wall that you didn't understand it, but yet you were drawn to it?
Oh yeah, I mean this is just entertaining as anything. I really loved it.
Yeah, no, me too. Me too. It's just very it's Sky may have been subtle, but this is not subtle at all.
Yeah.
Not subtle at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. The two shows had some similarities, which I pointed out, but yeah, also very, very different.
Yes, yeah, very, very. They reflect the culture, and the
Yeah,
episode
to be
ends. We see
continued. Yeah.
the disassembly man coming out. He got dumped in that lake, river, or whatever it is. He got dumped in there. He says, curses, I'll get you again. But I found something very interesting. So the number 8 actually has some significance in Japan
Okay.
because we've seen robot Hachan.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen there was a series in the 60s called Tobor the Eighth Man.
Hmm.
I also recommend that. It's hard to find, but it's definitely worth watching. There's also an anime and manga called Area 8, or sorry, Area 88.
All right.
And apparently, what I learned, yeah, I couldn't get a graphic of the kanji, but sorry guys, bear with me a minute.
Hmm.
Gonna get a pen.
All right. I'll take this this moment to point out that I think visually, 8chan, I think predicted the looks of the M&Ms, not the actual
Yes, he
candy,
did.
but the
He did.
characters and the commercials that have probably been around for 20 years now, 30 years. I don't know. And also, I think 8chan looks like South Park characters.
He really does. Sounds like one too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So can you see this right here? This is the character for is it too dark? I don't see it
Yeah,
there.
not really seeing it. Let's see.
There we go. How about now?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it depends the angle you hold it. I can see it now.
Okay, so basically, see how it kind of opens up like a path?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically, the path can lead to good luck. It can lead to good fortune. It can lead to good things. So that's why apparently the number 8's very
All right.
considered a lucky number, a very important number in Japan. And because I was just curious, is just Area 88 and Eighth Man and Robot Hachan.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's weird. The word for 8 in Japanese is Hachi, but they call them Hachan. So I guess it's a maybe abbreviated way of saying 8. But
Yeah.
so I just all these 8. So I was just curious if maybe there's a connection there, and it turns out, yeah, there is.
Yeah. I mean, I know, numbers are very significant in Chinese culture. Like
Yes.
10 is a super big one, but I don't think I've really ever heard very much about, what numbers mean in Japanese culture.
Yeah, and apparently it's true. Apparently, yeah, the 8's regarded as a very important number and a very powerful number. I guess kind of like how maybe 7
Hmm.
we have in the States, like lucky
Yeah.
7 or 7. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, a couple things I wanted to point out about this show. I was
sure.
talking about the similarity to Stranger Things. The
Right.
kids in this show communicate with walkie-talkies,
Yes, they
which
do.
is something that Stranger Things took.
Yep.
So I think, yeah, in tone, I would say 8chan was more similar to Stranger Things. But then again, that's not even true, because in some ways, Stranger Things seems to kind of be like Sky, eerie, creepy, stuff like that. But 8chan was definitely more of a fun adventure.
It was, yeah, it was. And the tuba
And
got it for me. Just that's solid for me. It's just like, yeah, every
yeah.
series needs a guy at the tuba. So.
Yeah. Also, I felt like this was a maybe a kids show by Philip K. Dick. The idea of people living in a world where there's just robots walking around, and
Yeah,
you have guys
or
whose
running.
job is like robot disassembly and stuff. Totally feels like a Philip K. Dick storyline. I don't know how well known he is in Japan. I mean, Blade
Good
Runner
question.
is huge everywhere. I mean, I bet you anything Blade Runner is big in Japan, but that had not been made at this point. I think
Yeah, it was
Blade
on the
Runner was
horizon.
82, or was it 84? But it was a couple years later.
Yeah, I want to say 82, maybe. I know this series, Hot Shot, came out in 81,
Yeah. So
but not too far off.
this is a pretty I don't want to say influential necessarily, because you don't know if the people who made Stranger Things and South Park and M&M's commercials, if they actually saw this, but they did predict those things. That's the word I'm looking for. This show predicted a lot of stuff. And I think that's all I have on 8chan. Very entertaining episode. I think you in episode 2, 8chan goes on trial and has
Seriously?
yes.
What do you do?
He's faced with a crooked judge. Well, he, as you showed, I mean, he hurt someone who was, I'm not even sure, but you're not allowed to do that as a robot. I think it was a case of, it was, he was falsely accused of something, but yeah, he has
Okay.
to go on trial and has to deal with a crooked judge. It's a funny, yeah. I don't know when I'll get around to watching more episodes, but they're quite entertaining.
It's a
So
really great series. Yeah, it's. I
yeah,
thought it
oh
was
yeah,
just.
it's great.
It's just so off the wall and so imaginative. And yeah, H. John, he. Well, they try to put him to work, and he puts the postman's head on backwards.
Yes, that was
And
hilarious. Yeah, and it took them a while to notice it.
yes,
The postman robot was dancing and moving around, and for a few seconds, it was very obvious that his head was on backwards to the
yes.
viewer. But the characters in the show took a little while to realize that.
But even Hutch-chan, he's not maybe the most competent of heroes, but he has heart, and I
Mm.
think it's he's the underdog, and I think, or yeah, and he kind of, I think it's really easy to root for the underdog.
Oh heck! Another big thing that he predicted is Transformers.
Oh,
Transformers and GoBots.
yeah, I'm trying to think if that was before.
Transformers could not have been around in the 70s, could they? I was never
I
a
don't.
Transformers fan. I think they came out in the 80s.
They did, but that might be one of our viewers to say. But I think they may have come out in the early '80s. See what Hasbro did? They bought the rights to a bunch of different toy lines. And that's why some
Mm,
Transformers are really small and some are really huge. They kind of just
mm,
put them all together.
right.
And
Hmm.
um, I'm not sure, but I know
Yeah.
there was a series in Japan we might cover someday called Space Giants, and that had a transforming robot too.
Okay. All right. So,
So yeah,
all right. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen more of that. I suspect it was probably difficult to film the 8chan in car form driving, rolling down roads, because
oh yes, yeah,
he only does it for a couple seconds, and then he turns into helicopter robot,
right, yeah,
which I
right.
imagine, yeah, you just kind of point the camera so it's facing the sky. Not that difficult to do that, whereas having him actually drive around on roads was probably pretty difficult.
And that Tokyo traffic, it's like, okay, it's
Yeah.
filming. You're, like,
Yeah.
you're sitting there. It's like,
All right. And
uh,
so this week we concluded Sky, as I was bringing up in the beginning of the episode of our show here. Sky kind of felt like a 7-episode Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I only noticed that while watching the last few episodes. Let's see. So here is Sky. I think this is the scene where Sky starts putting off Jesus vibes. And to me, I think he looks like Mr. Burns from the X-Files episode of The Simpsons, when he started glowing, and he was I think he was also wearing a hospital gown. And in this episode, Sky starts glowing and begins making religious references. Episode 4 ended with a cliffhanger with a good child seemingly about to operate on him, but somehow Sky pulled the old switcheroo and got this bum in the on the operating table. Well, he escaped, and yeah, that guy in the middle there, that's the fellow who almost got operated on. Good child apparently represents nature.
Yes.
In these episodes, they kind of hint that Sky represents like human advancement, technology. They're not real clear about that.
No.
But at one point, Sky says something about, I believe, Native Americans making arrowheads as a way of, changing nature or bending nature to their will. And so I think Sky ends up being a story of progress versus nature. Our fellows here, Good Child and this Oscar Wilde looking dude, I guess they represent nature. They don't want humans to progress and create technology. Maybe they don't want factories and pollution. Maybe that's kind of their angle.
They're more like an Eden-like kind of world.
Yeah,
where nature takes over and just vegetation and just
yeah. So they grab Sky. They grab Sky's friends and bring him into this mansion, which apparently doesn't really exist. It's invisible or something. Maybe it's in another dimension. So they bring Sky and his friends in there. They're holding him prisoner. They escape, of course, and go to this fabulous looking place, Glastonbury tour. I'm a huge fan of ancient monumental architecture. And so this is called Glastonbury Tor. It's supposed to be a hill. I mean, that church, that temple, whatever it is on top, I don't think that's really ancient. Well, obviously not as old as Stonehenge or something like this. I mean, this does not look like a natural hill to me. And I don't know if it's supposed to be some kind of mound. Those sorts of things are scattered around the British Islands. So, some sort of interesting monument tying Sky into ancient history, druids, all that kind of cool stuff. And, how did I forget? When he's here in the tower, a couple of hippies come, feel like he's someone.
Right.
They bring him back. It looks like they live in an RV or something, which then gets attacked by vines, which is very cool.
Yes. That was cool.
Yeah, I love anything having to do with like man-eating plants. So the vines come to life, attack Sky. I mean, I think that's just kind of like the vines are just an extension of Good Child and Oscar Wilde. Is nature does not like Sky, and it's kind of this show is like very complex for a kids show. I mean, you would not see an American kids show with this much complexity. Having your hero is being constantly attacked by nature. Nature doesn't like your hero. That's weird. I mean, nature is supposed to be good. And it's not that nature is bad in this show. It's just complex. So, end of episode 6, Sky goes to even a cooler place, Stonehenge, which we learned, I guess this is Juganet.
Yes.
Maybe so. I mean, Stonehenge is actually older than the Druids, way older. So, but you have this idea that maybe ancient people were traveling to other dimensions. I like the fact Sky says, it's not the rocks that have the magical powers. They just mark the magical place where, there's portals or whatever. And Sky and Arby both manage to travel to another dimension. This is one of those shows where the final episode is pretty much completely different from everything that came before. A couple of your characters are now in another dimension. It's not the usual thing of, the parents. I mean, I will never get over Major Briggs. He's a parent of one of the characters, Arby. Not Arby, Roy.
Yes,
And
that's right.
yeah, Major Briggs just stands in his living room with a pitcher of martinis, pouring it into a glass and drinking. I've never seen anything like that. Sure, I mean, tie one on at home by yourself. Yeah, but to just stand in the middle of your living room holding the pitcher and but then again, I guess when Sky enters your life, that's what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, Major Briggs named, obviously not named after, had the same name as a character from Twin Peaks. So that's also, there's famous character from Twin Peaks named Major Briggs. So Arby and Roy go off to another dimension. The final episode was not my favorite, but it has, I feel like it was sort of Wicker Man combined with Planet of the Apes.
Okay,
Also,
I can see that.
I
can see that.
It doesn't have as much of quite a dismal ending as Wicker Man. Our good guys escape, but it's kind of a similar thing, but also with Planet of the Apes, and maybe even more beneath the Planet of the Apes is kind of and so it's a very satisfactory show. I really appreciate what Bob Baker and Dave Martin did. Haven't seen too much stuff by Doctor Who writers writing for other programs, other characters. My favorite, Robert Holmes, I don't think I've ever seen anything he did. Terry Nation, most of us have seen Blake Seven, but very interesting to see their vision producing this odd show, which, like I said, has I think has a lot of similarities to Stranger Things and all sorts of programs like that, where kids teaming up with a strange, powerful entity. So, that's all I got. Did you have anything else you wanted to add about Sky?
Not really. I did like it. I think maybe they're hoping for season 2, and maybe they thought, if we get renewed, we'll kind of fill in the blanks from season 1.
Yeah.
Seemed very experimental, but no, I'm glad I did see it. I think it had potential. I think maybe with a more likable protagonist, I think maybe it would have maybe lasted longer, but it's still remembered to this day. I've seen other YouTubers from Britain talk about the show, and it's still
Right.
kind of ingrained in their brains. So it had an impact, and of course, I always hear the harpsichord and then the violin, just like that music, just like dun dun dun.
It's I could see this show making an impression on a young mind.
Indeed, and it's been released on DVD, I think, in the UK.
I believe I read that. Yeah,
I don't have a player to play it, but not yet, but over one day. But so it might be worth somebody maybe just kind of resurrecting one day and kind of build a little more onto what we saw here.
I think I was thinking about this show, and I could 100% imagine this script, landing on some director, some hotshot Michael Bay kind of director, saying, "All right, this is a great idea. Let's make this into a $200 million movie. They're gonna punch it up, obviously, improve the pacing, lots of special effects." But I could totally imagine, the basis of this being a mainstream Hollywood movie.
And I could have seen this in the 80s, be on Nickelodeon or Channel 2. What was your PBS station? And was it Channel 13?
That was the main one out of New York City. Yeah, WNET.
Okay.
Yeah, I can imagine this being on WNET during the 80s for sure.
Or maybe NJN. I could see it on NJN. So yeah. But I don't think it ever got shown outside of Britain, I don't think. But no, I'm glad I did see it. I'm glad no regrets. I think if you are a Doctor Who fan, I would give it a try, and I can put a link below for both shows, and you guys can decide for yourselves.
Yeah. You should know by now if Sky is your kind of thing. So we'll be back next week. Don't know what we'll be talking about, but hope you will join us. Bye, Jim.
Take care, Jason. Take care.
Goodbye, everybody.
Hai, mata ne.